Please keep it going for Rafa DeCamargo. Let him fucking hear it.
Hi, hello, how's it going? Give it up for my buddies Christian and Joe again, one more time, huh? Yeah, this is awesome, man. I know it may not look like it or it may not seem like it, but I actually moved to this country when I was 4 years old, and I spent 22 years here as an immigrant with a green card, and happy to tell you guys that I finally became an American citizen last year, so that's really cool. Thank you. I always like saying that up top now because right after I got my citizenship, I was on the road for 3 weeks in the Midwest doing a tour, and I was in this little town called Worthington, Minnesota. I said that exact same thing, and nobody clapped. It was so quiet, I heard a guy in the back go, "Great, another one got in," and then I just heard, "Shhhhh," you know what I mean? And I still had 29 minutes to go. It was a very rough show. Took me 3 years to get my citizenship. Usually it takes about a year. It was very stressful. There's a lot of tests and interviews in federal buildings, submitting documents to the federal government. But there's also a lot of stress eating for me. I gained about 80 pounds in the process. But it was almost like the government was training me to be more American. Like, we'll wait till he's pre-diabetic, then we'll let him in. I went to go get my certificate, and they were like, "Hey, man, does your foot sometimes hurt and then fall asleep?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they were like, "Approved, hobble on in. You're one of us now." Yeah, I almost didn't make it in this country, actually, because during my federal interview, on my background check, my arrest record came up, and I had an arrest from when I was 22, so I had to explain this story to the federal agent. I was 22, I had gone out drinking with a friend of mine, and he was dropping me off at my mom's apartment complex afterwards, and we were right outside the gate, and he was like, "Hey, man, I have a bottle and some weed if you want to keep partying." I was like, "That sounds like fun." So we were in his car taking shots of Jameson and smoking weed out of a Monster can. He was like, "Dude, I don't have a pipe." And I was like, "I can make a pipe out of anything. I've been in the 8th grade." And I just grabbed this Monster can and made it into a pipe. And then we sat there getting fucked up. And we didn't even notice that the cop had rolled up on us until he put his head through the driver's side window and he said, "What are you guys doing?" Which made me laugh. And then all the weed went exploding off the top of the Monster can. It's a real waste of a bowl. And he asked for our IDs, and as we handed the IDs over, he goes, "How do you guys know each other?" And I had to look at this cop in the face and say, "Sir, we met on a Facebook forum for slacklining." And he had no idea what that was. And I tried to explain. I was like, "It's where you get this rope and you put it," and he goes, "Oh, I don't want to hear any more of this." And I was like, "Sir, it's not sexual. We have it in the trunk." And he goes, "I don't want to see it." And I was like, "All right, fair." Then I asked him, I was like, "Why'd you pull up on us?" And he goes, "Well, I don't know if you know, but this is the #1 hotspot for male prostitution in this town." So that whole slackline thing really did not help our case up until this point. And then he saw my ID, he's like, "Oh, you live here?" And I was like, "Yeah, dude, I always thought those guys were just waiting for the bus." And he goes, "Sir, there's no bus stop there." And I was like, "Good to know." All right. But he did catch us smoking and drinking, you know, so he pulled us out of the car, and we were both being interviewed by separate officers, and about 20 minutes went by, and then 2 more squad cars showed up, and that's when I knew I was going to jail. And then the new cops went and talked to the old cops, and this new cop comes up to me, and he goes, "Hey, buddy, how much cocaine have you done tonight?" I just smiled, and I was like, "None." And he goes, "Why are you smiling?" And I was like, "Because this is the first time in my adult life where I can honestly tell you I've done 0 cocaine tonight." I was like, "Why do you ask?" He goes, "Because your buddy over there has 8 grams in pre-weighed out baggies and about $700 in cash." Yeah, I got so mad because we could have been having such a fun time that night. Are you... Now I got to go down for this? Like, are you out of your mind? The cop did an eye test, and he was like, "All right, I believe you haven't been doing any cocaine, but I do have to arrest you for public intoxication." I was like, "All right, man, you know, fucking punishment feats, like, you know, the crime." So he handcuffed me, and he was leading me towards the car. And I just couldn't help it, so I stopped him before he put me through the door, and I was like, "Hold on, officer, 1 second, hold on a second. Out of the 2 of us, which one did you think was the prostitute?" And then he leaned really close to my ear, and he's like, "Oh, you're going to be real popular where you're going." And I was like, "That is not what I wanted to hear right now." But I told that to the federal agent during my interview. She laughed, and here I am, dude, you know? So cheers to that, huh? Now I get to go up on stage and say that with freedom of speech, and I can't be deported. So sick. I recently started going to therapy as an adult. Yeah, I've been talking about my grandparents a lot. My whole family still lives in Brazil, you know what I mean? So we've been divided for a long time. I haven't seen them in about 8 years, and I'm going to go see them in August. And I've been talking a lot with my therapist about my grandparents. When I started therapy, actually, my therapist was like, where do you want to start? And I was like, I'm the kind of guy that wears the shirt in the pool. Like, look, I have B cups. I think it should be illegal for me to free the nipple. You know what I mean? And she was like, why do you feel that you have to be the guy that wears the shirt in the pool? And I told her about this thing I used to do when I was a kid, and maybe you guys can relate. When I'd go on family vacations, I'd put my Walkman headphones on, but I'd leave the volume down so I could hear my family talking shit about each other. Right. So I was on a family vacation, and I had my Walkman headphones on, the volume down. I was listening to my mom talk to my aunts. So I was listening to my grandma talk to my mom and my aunts, and she told everyone in the car that if I didn't outgrow my man boobs, that we would just surgically remove them. I was 11. So I was like, wow, they're really embarrassed by this. I should keep it covered forever. And my therapist was like, that's why you wear the shirt in the pool. And I was like, this is the best $200 I've spent in a long time. But it got me thinking, right? The way that society and gender has evolved in the last 20 years. Imagine if I had gotten that surgery. Would I just be out at a pool party last summer with my shirt off and someone would see the scars and come up to me and be like, wow, with the beard and everything, good for you. And I'd have to be like, no, I've been a man my whole life. They'd be like, you sure have. Yes, you have. That's an awkward conversation I don't want to have. I'll just wear the shirt in the pool. Thank you, therapy. You know what I mean? The only person I'm nervous to go and see in Brazil is my grandfather. The last time that I saw him, he was visiting here in America, and we got into an argument about where to go out to eat for dinner. He was like, I want to go to Red Lobster. And I was like, that place sucks. And he said, that's okay, because your opinion doesn't matter. You're not a real man. And I was like, all right. It's pretty harsh. I didn't know that the cheddar biscuits at Red Lobster were worth ruining a family, but here we are. And he's getting old. He's getting old. And I didn't have a dad growing up, so he's like the father figure in my life. And I don't want him to die on bad terms. And I know he's getting old because he's Biden's age, so I'm pretty sure he's going to die soon. And it's the best reference I got. But I started getting the stress dream where, like, my grandma will call me and she'll be like, hey, Grandpa's in the hospital, he's dying, and he's asking for you, you got to come down to Brazil. So I fly out, and I get there, and my whole family's in the hospital room. It's really sad. And he sees me, and he beckons me over to his bedside, and I walk over there, and he looks at me, and he says, Rafa, I'm really sorry for what I said to you last time that I saw you. And I look around for one more moment, and I lean in, and I whisper so no one can hear me, and I just say, I'll never forgive you. Got him, dude. And in that moment, he looks you right in the eyes and he goes, I know, because only a real man could forgive. And then he just rolls over and dies. Oh, it doesn't end there. Next day, I'm in the lawyer's office. They're reading off the will and testament of my grandfather. I'm like, hey, is Rafael here? And I'm like, yep, that's me. And they're like, let's see what we have here for you. Oh, right here. It looks like he left you a $100 gift card to Red Lobster. Oh, I go to Red Lobster in the dream. I get $100 worth of food with a friend of mine. Check comes back, $25 on the gift card. What an asshole. I wake up in a cold sweat every time. I did recently talk to them. I turned 29 in December. Thank you. I live in San Diego. My mom came down from Simi Valley to visit me, and she was like, what do you want to do for your birthday? And I was like, let's just go out to like my favorite sandwich shop and get some food. So we were having lunch together, and this is the moment she decided to tell me that my grandma's in the hospital right now. She was like, hey, grandma's in the hospital. I don't know if you've talked to them lately or anything. And I was like, no, I haven't. Is she okay? My mom was like, yeah, she's okay. She had to have hip surgery. I was like, all right. Did she like fall or something? And my mom literally replied with, look, your grandparents love each other very much. Yeah, old Joe Biden was giving it to her good, something clicked, and now we need surgery. That's where we're at. I will tell you that is one way to ruin a roast beef sandwich on your birthday. Had a little trouble dipping into the au jus after that little conversation. My mom was like, make them feel better, like your grandma's in the hospital. Like, I'm sure she'd love to see you for your birthday, so we should FaceTime them, right? So we FaceTime my grandparents in the hospital, and my grandfather answers the phone, and he had this smile from ear to ear that really pissed me off. You guys not cool with this material? What's going on? Everyone's fucking... You guys walk into your grandparents fucking one time? What's happening right now? It's my life. It's okay. You know what I mean? My uncle knows that I'm a comedian. He likes making jokes at me. So he grabs the phone and he goes, hey, dude, we'll see how the rehabilitation goes, but her rehabilitation's in a swing. And I was like, fuck you, dude. This is not the time for grandma sex swing jokes. So it's going good, She's going to be okay, but I'm not, so it's fine. Man, that really touched a nerve with you guys, huh? I should just keep doubling down. No, I won't. Meet me in the parking lot. I'll ball gag you later, dude. Oh boy. I did dabble with drugs, though. I was talking about drugs earlier. Just by round of applause, how many people in here have ever taken LSD? Good amount. Make some noise if you've ever taken Molly. Even more people? Okay. Last time I went home to Brazil, I've always had this dream of flying on acid, right? And as I left for the airport, you guys... Yeah. My roommate knew about my dream at the time, so as I was leaving for the airport, he put 3 gel tabs into my hand. And I ate those in the LAX security line before my 12-hour flight. Yeah, I made it through security with them on my tongue, and then I got to my gate, and then I started boarding, and I started peeking when I boarded the plane. And I got to my window seat, and for the longest time, no one was sitting next to me, and I was like, this is going to be the perfect flight. You know what I mean? Like, this is going to be awesome. And right as they lifted the door to the plane, a 70-year-old couple sat next to me. And I was like, this is going to be a different flight. But it started hitting me really strong, like a lot stronger. I've done a lot of acid, but it started hitting me a little bit stronger than I thought. And so I turned my phone back on to hit up my buddy who gave me the acid just to be like, hey, where did you get this shit? And as I turned my phone on, I already had a message from him, and he said, hey, man, forgot to tell you, ... the gold flakes in the gel tabs, that's Molly. So now I'm going to be candy flipping on this flight. And I was like, this is going to be a different fucking flight. So we finally, taxi onto the tarmac, and when they turned those jet engines on, and my seat started gyrating, it took everything in my body not to come next to the 70-year-old couple, because that's when the Molly started kicking in. We fucking sped up at 600 miles an hour, we lifted off, we made it to cruising altitude, 37,000 feet. And I'm just sweating, dude. I'm sweating more than I've ever sweat in my entire life. And when I fly and I do drugs, I wear a full-blown suit with the vest and everything. Because I want to look normal, but I'm not. You know what I mean? So I'm sweating in this fucking, 3-piece fucking suit on this flight next to this, just fucking tripping my balls off, dude. And this little old lady next to me, she taps me on the shoulder and she goes, hey, are you a nervous flyer? And I was like, we can't talk for the rest of the flight. And she didn't. Then I got up and I excused myself and I went to the bathroom and I got lost in the mirror for, 2.5 hours, 3 hours. And I finally went back to my seat, and I was like, out of the peak, I was like, I'm going to make it through this. This is awesome. I'm having the best time. I was listening to Dark Side of the Moon in my headphones. I was like, this is the best, right? Looking out the window. And then we hit violent turbulence. And I don't know if you guys have ever been tripping at 37,000 feet during violent turbulence and like people are like holding on for their lives. But I could not stop laughing. I couldn't stop laughing. It felt like the plane was tickling me, I swear to God. And when you're laughing at 37,000 feet through violent turbulence on drugs, people look at you weird. It's... I had the best flight. It was awesome. It's a PSA. If you ever thought about it, fucking do it. It's the best time of your life. It was really fun. And then when you get to, wherever you're going, you can just tell people you're jet lagged. It's fine. Thank you. I'm really bad at dating. I'm not really good at dating. I was seeing this girl for about a month this year, and it was the way it's also like I'm done trying. I am not pursuing women, but if someone comes up to me and goes, "Hey, I'm down," I'm like, "Cool, let's do this." You know what I mean? Like I'm done trying. And I had this girl hit me up in my inbox, and she said, "Hey, I want you to spend the night so that way in the morning I can brush my teeth with your dick." And I was like, "Let's do this." You know what I mean? Like I would like to see that. I always thought it was good for the skin, but I don't know what it does for the mouth. But, let's do some science or whatever. Let's figure it out. And we ended up dating for about a month, and then we got into 2 big fights and broke up. And I'll tell you the 2 big fights, then I'm going to get out of here. First fight, we were sitting watching a movie, and she was laying across like my lap, and she farted on me. It was a bassy one, too. It was like very... And it was something about the sound and the vibration on my thigh that it just made me laugh really hard. And she got so mad that she threw me out of her house, all right? And I was knocking on her door like, "Everybody farts," like, like, "Let me back in." And we worked it out, and she was just like, "Yeah, just next time you have a fart, just fart around me and we'll be even." And I was like, "All right, deal," like... And then the next night, we went out drinking a bunch, and she had probably gone through 2 bottles of white wine to herself. And we started on the 3rd one, and she had bought a couple of mini shots of Fireball. And then we were watching a movie, she started to pass out, or at least I thought she was passing out. And then I decided I'm going to take my shot of Fireball because this shit's gross and I don't want it to get warm, right? I want to take it while it's still cold. And as soon as I took the shot, she lifted her head up and was like, "What the fuck? Did you just take that fucking Fireball without me?" And I will say that the most white trash thing I've done since I became a citizen was fight over Fireball. That is exactly what proceeded to happen. I was like, but I feel like I'm now a citizen. You know what I mean? Like, I've done all the things, checked all the boxes. So we were fighting over a fucking shot of Fireball. And I just got so mad that I was like, "You know what, dude? I need my space." And I went to my room, and she thought about it for a little bit. And then she came in, and she started brushing her teeth. And one thing led to another. And we hooked up. And as soon as I finished, I farted. And I said, "We're even." And she broke up with me. So... I only miss one thing about her. The only thing that I miss about her is that after we would wake up in the morning, and then she would suck my dick, and then she would rub my belly. Yeah, it was motherly. Like, it was like if my mom gave me a blowjob. I was like, this is the best. I know, dare I say it, but it was like the comfort of being in the womb. I was like, I am here, Anyway, I wanted to leave you guys on that. So thank you so much. I'm Rafael DeCamargo. Have a great night.
Keep it going for Rafael DeCamargo. Let him